Welcome back, kindergartners, and hopefully some of those kindergarten parents. I'm Mrs. Boydston, and on today's edition of Reading in a Nutshell, we are going to attempt to put the subject of phonics in a nutshell. So we are going to start at the very beginning, and I can pretty much guarantee there will be some bonus material here that you don't know, but I will tell you how much you need to know to be ready for first grade. So let's start at the beginning. What is phonics? Phonics is the relationship between sounds and letters. Now, you all know your ABCs. You probably have a card that looks like this, and you can see your ABCs are here, and you can see your ABCs are here. Obviously, these are uppercase, and these are lowercase. Some people call these big letters and little letters, but uppercase and lowercase is more accurate. We were teaching you the alphabet using these picture cards, and parents, it will be really helpful if you can stick with the same set of picture cards as we were using in class. We're just going to start by singing the ABCs, which some of you could probably do before you even knew what they were. Stick with me here, it's going to get fun. Here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Okay, 2 pieces of trivia. What other song uses the same tune? Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Very good. Now, if you know your ABCs, and that's really easy for you, can you sing them backwards? Let's give it a try. Z, Y, X, W, V, U, T, S, R, Q, P, O, N, M, L, K, J, I, H, G, F, E, D, C, B, A. Now I know my Z, Y, X's. Guess that's not what you expected. That song is just for fun, but it also helps you put in your mind sort of the order that the letters go. And that will help you later on with alphabetizing and alphabetical order, which you don't have to worry about this year. All right, when we talk about knowing the alphabet, it's not just being able to sing the song. Can you name each letter? Can you name the uppercase and the lowercase version of each letter? Can you name them if they are out of order? And can you attach the sound to the name? In kindergarten, we do systematic, explicit instruction in teaching phonics. And you're going to see why. I'm going to give you a quick demonstration to show you why this is important. Many letters are pretty straightforward. We know that the A says A, just like you hear in the picture of the word apple. And we know that B says B, just like you hear at the beginning of the word bat. However, then you get to a letter like C. Well, C can say K, but so can CK, and so can K, and sometimes C says S. So how do I know when to use a C? You want to get really tricky? Let's look at the J sound. I might have taken it away because it's so tricky, but we'll come back to that later. So phonics can get tricky really quickly. That's why it's so important to have a good basis of phonemic awareness before and then as you're continuing to learn about phonics. So once you've learned your uppercase and your lowercase letters and you know what sounds are generally attached to them and you know how to write your upper and lowercase letters or at least be able to recognize them, then you might be ready for the blends. Blends are letters that often occur together and sometimes it changes the sound that the letters make entirely. There are over 40 blends and digraphs, 2 letters together, that are common, including ones with silent letters, but we're going to focus on these, I believe it's 5. So TH together, do you remember what that says? It says as in thumbs up. We have that one a lot. How about SH? Do you remember what sound SH makes? Shh. as in shell. How about which one says ch? Which blend makes the ch sound? Well, most often it's the CH as in cheese, but sometimes you'll see it with a TCH as in watch. We see this one in many of our question words. It's the WH blend. Many people just say it as w, and other people have a little bit of a in there, so as whale, but you'll see a WH together often. That's a blend you'll want to become familiar with. And this one, we didn't have time to introduce, at least not in my class before the end of the year. N and G together. You make the sound by putting the back of your tongue up on the roof of your mouth. And often there's an I there as in sing and ring and thing. So phonics is also being aware of all of the common blends. Now I'd like to interject here. In addition to knowing the sound letters make, the names of the letters, and the shapes of the letters, it's really important that you know how to make the correct sound for each letter with your mouth. Here's why. We have 5 very special letters, and those are our vowels. I know you know this song by now. Sing it with me. I can sing the vowels for you, and you can sing them too. A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. And you can sing them too. Woo! And they're special because vowels occur in virtually every word in the English language. Now, if you've been paying close attention, you know what the mystery vowel is, the sometimes vowel. What is it? It's the letter Y. Yeah. And we're going to hear about why the Y is a vowel sometimes. But here's the other important thing to understand about vowels. All vowels can make at least 2 sounds, the short sound and the long sound. And if you already learned the Phonics version of the sounds a, b, k, you know the short sounds. And if you can say the name of the vowel, you know the long sound. So A can say, well, I'll say the long sound first. A can say A, and A can say a. A, 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 a. Now look at my mouth when I say A. Do you see how wide it is? A, it doesn't change very much. The shape of my mouth doesn't change, but what I do inside my mouth does change. Now listen to the E. E can say E, or E can say eh. E, eh, E, eh. When I say the E sound, I make a big smile with my mouth. But when I say the eh sound, my mouth opens up a little wider. And listen to how close the eh is to the ah. Eh, ah, eh, ah. This can be extremely difficult for kids to hear, especially if English is not their first language. So that's one reason we really try to drive it home, the different sounds that the vowels make and how to form them with your mouths. So let's finish up with the other 3 vowels. I can say I, and I can say I. I, I, I. Whenever I say the I sound, my mouth is nice and long like the letter I. Even the I is pretty high. What's our next vowel? A, E, I, O. This is fun because your mouth makes the O. O can say O, and O can say ah. O, ah. O, ah. And our final official vowel is U. Look at all the shape changes that happen in my mouth when I say the letter U. It starts back in my mouth and comes forward. So you can say you, or you can say you, you, Those are the basics. You need to know at least that much information and how to make those sounds and identify them when you're going into kindergarten. But here's something you should be aware of. All of those vowels can make many sounds, and the spelling will change. You do not need to know all of these different spellings by the time you get to first grade, but you need to be aware of them so that you are aware that you will be able to learn them. And for those of you who are ready, you could start learning those now. Now, what do we call the other letters in the alphabet? If it's not a vowel, it's a consonant. And most consonants make one sound, but many make more. So it's just a matter of being familiar with the letters, being so familiar that you can name the letter and the sound that it makes as easily as you can name a color. Let's try that again. What color is this? Purple. What color is this? Orange. What color is this? Blue. Did you have to think about that? If you don't know your letters and your sounds as well as you know your colors, then that's what you want to keep working on. If you are already familiar with your letters and your sounds, then you've probably started blending your sounds and your letters together into words. The most common words are CVC words, and that stands for consonant, vowel, consonant. And it's cool because usually, and I say usually meaning that sometimes these rules are broken, usually words that are made up of a consonant, a vowel, and then a consonant means the vowel will have the short vowel sound. So nearly all of you will be able to read these words. Let's try this one. Ham. You just segmented and blended. Try this one. Whoops. J, e, jet. Notice the vowels in the middle are saying their short sound. P, pop. D, I, g, dig. S, b, sub. Even a long word like this, let's count the letters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it only has one vowel, that vowel is probably going to say the short sound. So this becomes sk, b, scrub. So kindergartners, if that was easy for you, you're going to want to move on to the next type of words or add other words in. If that's not quite easy for you yet, then that's what you want to continue practicing, reading CVC words, vowel, consonant, vowel words. And parents, there are tons of lists on the internet and you can make them up. You can make that into a fun game yourself as well. But what if we have two vowels? Well, we learned a lot about the silent E, where the E shows up at the end of the word and it tells the first vowel to say its name. Well, that rule actually kind of rolls into another rule, which is simply whenever there are two vowels in a word, it's usually the first one who makes a sound, and usually that vowel will say its name. So when I was in school, we learned that as when two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking. So let's look at these words and see how well you do applying the silent E and the two vowel rule. So this would be T. I see that silent E, so tune. And that's one of those tricky U's. You just have to get used to them. Tune. I've. 5. See, the I is saying its name. Oh, here we have two vowels. They're walking right next to each other. I have a U and an I. If the first one does the talking, the second one's going to be silent. So let's sound this word out. Oot. Fruit. Not bad. Same thing. O. D. Toad. If you're not quite ready for the two vowel rule yet, don't worry, but it's kind of fun to be aware of it so you can keep your eyes open to see it. S-A-L, sail. Want to try that one? Team. I like it when they're the same letter. Beat. The second E may be being quiet, but they're all just saying their name. Whenever you have double letters, it says the name of the vowel. Here we're back to our silent E. W, O, woke. L, I, M, lime. And F, A, M, fame. You can see and hear how your phonemic awareness skills help build your phonics skills. So most kindergartners at this point are probably learning in those rules of phonics. But there are some more, and I'm going to let you in on those now in case you want to practice them over the summer. How about that Y? Why is Y sometimes a vowel and sometimes not? And what does it say when it's a vowel? Well, Y by itself says y, y, y. But when Y is used as the only vowel in a word, like fry, it gives us the long I sound. Fry and my. There's still a little bit of a y tacked onto the end, but you hear that it says the name of the letter I. It's not y, it's I and I. That's only when it's a one-syllable word or when Y is the only vowel in the syllable. If you get a two-syllable word, which means there's probably another vowel in the word, now the Y is going to say E. So there's two vowels. I see an I and a Y. So this is going to say if, E, 50. And this one is going to say B, A, B, E, baby. If you're wondering why this has a short sound and this has a long sound, it has to do with breaking the syllables down. In this syllable, there's another consonant, and in this syllable, there is not. But this is reading in a nutshell, so we don't have time to go into all of that. Basically, remember, when Y is the only vowel, it says I, but when there's another vowel with the Y, it says E. All right, now this is truly bonus information. How about the silent, how about that G and C? Sometimes C says S, but sometimes C says K. Sometimes G says G, but sometimes G says J. How do we know? Here's the rule. Parents, I'll bet you didn't know this one. I'm going to read it so I get it correct. When a C or a G is followed by an E, I, or Y, the C will say S and the G will say J. So this G is followed by an E, so it's going to be gentle, not gentle. Here our G is followed by an I, so it's giraffe, not graph. And here's some samples with our C. Our C is followed by an E, so it's not fake, it's face. And the same thing here. It's followed by an E, so instead of Mike, this is mice. That's the hard thing about phonics. The rules are general guidelines which can help you figure out to read words, but there are always exceptions to the rules. Usually those exceptions to the rules become, you guessed it, sight words and high frequency words. Those are words that you just have to look at and remember. You have to memorize them just like you did those colors. Remember? You can learn those colors without any hesitation. If you keep practicing your sight words so you can learn those without any hesitation as well, that's going to be immensely helpful. I hope that you have learned a lot in this segment of Reading in a Nutshell. If I have some more time and availability, I will try to put some more activities and link you to some websites that continue to help you with phonics. Thank you for joining me.